A concept of God. Picture a glass of water. The water inside the glass is a living being. Now we don't know the shape of the water being. So for our understanding, we will put the water being in a glass. The shape of the glass is not important, but is there to give us a construct about the shape of the water. Now let's say the water represents a being. This being has senses, just like we have our five senses. This water being sees, hears, feels, tastes, smells, just like we do. It may even have more senses, because this water being represents God in our example. Where we humans only have one group of senses, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling, in this water being there are multiple groups of senses that is duplicated in every small unit that makes up the water being. Using our water being example, every atom or quark that makes up the water being has a group of senses. The relay of information from these senses from one water atom to another water atom is far quicker than the speed of light or anything that we can imagine. Now picture drops of dye that appear in the water that do not diffuse but hold their form. These drops of dye are created beings that the water being has created. These are what we call angels. The water is the spiritual world. So the water being and the angels are spirits, but the water being is much more than spirit. Now, picture in the water a sponge that appears inside the glass of water. The water represents the water being. The sponge represents our universe. The sponge represents all matter, the planets, the sun, the black holes, the oceans, us humans, all life. They are all represented by the sponge. The sponge is not part of the water being, but is created by the water being. Now, the water being is inside the sponge, but the sponge is not inside the water. If we squeeze the sponge, water will come out. But if we squeeze the water, no sponge will come out. It must be poured out. Now let us say that this water being is God. This shows how big and vast God is compared to the universe. But it also shows how God is also exceedingly small, because every atom or quark that makes up all matter in the universe has a group of senses of God in it. Inside every atom that makes up matter, there is a group of senses of God in it. The water in the glass could be, but not necessarily be, dark matter. Now we believe the spirit world is invisible to our eyes. But what if the spirit world is not invisible, but is right before our eyes? What if we can't see it because it is very small? Let's say the smallest level is the God level, or in our example, the water being. The God level is the smallest unit, the quark or smaller. The spirit world is at the atom level or smaller, but not smaller than the God level. Mankind and all matter is at the molecule level. That's why we can't see the spirit world. So this is a concept of God. This is my belief. It may be right, it may be wrong, but thank you for listening and have a good day.